I'm Ryan, and this is part 5 of our discussion about Bill O'Reilly and the Electoral College.
And I'm Ryan. We'll discuss whether he is drunk or sober when we return.
You know, Betty White really is the greatest Golden Girl. Choosy parents choose Jif. He's so mean. He really is. Hey Ryan, are we out of partisan again?
Bill O'Reilly says the way to change the way America is run is by taking voting power away from the white precincts, drunk or sober.
So, I think he's quite drunk. I mean, he's at least a point. I've already talked about, and actually all of our talking points kind of led up to this moment, which I like, that I've talked about whether or not the white voters are marginalized now or whether they'd be more marginalized later. So I'm not really going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about whether or not replacing a president is a good idea just for change. And what we're talking about is maintaining change. He said it's the most effective, quick way to do it. So we replace presidents quite often. So what I think he's saying is if you want to get somebody in office and then keep that party in office. So what does that look like? And whether or not marginalizing the white precincts is doing that. So first of all, I don't think the president is the best way to implement change anyway. I actually think Congress is the more powerful of the two.
They absolutely are.
Right, he's singularly the most powerful person, but when we're talking about actually affecting change in America, it's Congress.
They are by far the most powerful branch.
Right, exactly. So if we're talking about presidents, though, I think his whole argument is built on a fallacy. And we've seen this across the board, and we're going to continue to see this in every single discussion we have. And that's the fallacy that there are two groups in the United States. Liberals and conservatives. That's it. That's all that exists. Well, no, that's not true. We have Democrats and Republicans, and we have everyone else. That's it. It's not two. It's Democrats, Republicans, and everyone else who have some shade of liberal and conservative views. And we say things like right-leaning or left-leaning or moderate. And no, that's not a thing. We take you and then make you a Republican or a Democrat based on that. No. You have Republicans, Democrats, everyone else. And so this idea that marginalizing someone is the best way to get either Republican or Democrat in office, I think actually does not give you consistency. The only thing that's been consistent in the White House is indeed change. Consider this, since Eisenhower, we've swapped parties 8 times in the White House. It's about every 8 years. We switch from Democrat...
Couple exceptions.
Right,
sure.
Exactly. And I can actually list them all, but I'm not going to. So 8 times we've switched parties. Is it because Republicans are suddenly becoming Democratic and Democrats are suddenly becoming Republican every 8 years? No, it's that group of the people. It's a group of people that are not Republicans or Democrats that we try to call Republicans or Democrats or conservatives and liberals that just get fed up every 8 years. They're willing to give 8 years to somebody most of the time. And then they say, screw it. And they're only voting for their self-interest. That's it. They look at what they care about at that time and they vote for the person they hope might supply the thing they're looking for. So what I think we need to stop doing, if you want to actually get consistency, is we need to stop highlighting our differences and creating 2 buckets for people. And we should find the things that tie us all together. If you can find that candidate, then you will, and you put them in the White House and they provide those things, anyone under that party will continue to be elected. And those things, I've tried to outline some of them here. I have it down to 3 things. First, the accumulation of wealth. That's the ability to actually earn a wage, a living wage, or better. Second, stability. That is to know that your job is there and will stay there, and that more jobs will be available for you to increase your opportunities and your wealth. Third, safety. And I'm talking about a roof over your head. I'm talking about the lack of fear from physical harm. If you give me a candidate who who will give me those three things, that person's getting into the White House. And one thing I want to point out is it's almost like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you start with our physical needs,
Yeah.
we'll tackle the emotional needs next. And for all those people that are liberal and think we have race issues and religious issues and all these equality things, those, when you take care of a person physically, they're more likely to look outwardly and how to take care of others. And those come next. Social change comes after physical needs are met. You got next round?
I do. That was great, by the way.
Thank you.
So I also put him in as being a pretty drunk guy. I actually clocked him at a .28. I give him a drunken stupor.
Oh, I don't disagree. I like that.
So
The higher the better.
he says, what, the way to change America is by taking the voting power away from the white precincts? Okay, so let's start. Why should the voting power be centered in the white precincts?
It shouldn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on. His point, again, these aren't mutually exclusive. It's not as though changing the system means the white people in those precincts aren't allowed to vote anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
Interesting. So the idea about removing the Electoral College, it's about counting actual votes.
Right.
Individual votes. Your vote now actually counts. And it's weird that if you listen to people and you don't listen to places and you actually become the most popular candidate, that means you would actually need to appeal to people.
You do.
People. And so think about this. He's talking about marginalizing votes and how votes aren't counting. In California, the state, that you can just disregard,
Yes.
4 million people voted for Trump, or more than 4 million people. Literally, their votes didn't count. They could have stayed home, and nothing would have changed with the way California voted.
Right. To your point, I mentioned that all those people in the red states who didn't vote because of apathy, because they're going to be red. Similarly, in California, it's going to be a blue state. 4 million people can stay home. They're voting blue.
So, if you take that and you spread that across all of the states,
Yeah.
you get a total of, now this is at the last count,
Okay.
54,561,996 people could have not voted, and there would have literally been no change in the Electoral College.
That's an amazing statistic.
So think about that. Almost 55 million people could have done nothing. Nothing different. No change. And this is the system that Bill O'Reilly says represents the people the best.
That's amazing.
And so I would say that the argument of abolishing the Electoral College would actually be to make every vote count.
That is the argument. And I want to point out, by the way, I am not saying I'm pro-Electoral College or pro-popular vote.
I would agree.
Right? We are just simply talking about whether or not his arguments hold any water at all.
And
the benefits.
And again, I just think he is, seriously, drunken stupor, baby.
He likes what he likes.
He
Likes
does.
to drink and he likes to talk.
Last call?
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like us, subscribe,
Definitely subscribe.
share,
Tell your friends.
leave a comment.
We'll answer a comment. Cheers.
Next time. It's good beer.
Indeed.